Hello, so.
Just gonna do your odds, mate.
100%. Do you want to get this arm?
Yeah, sure.
It's easier on this one.
How are you feeling today?
I am great. How's your day been?
Yeah, good, thanks.
5 months ago, Brett Wallace was hit by a semi-trailer while riding his bike through a notoriously dangerous intersection on the way to work.
I looked over and I could kind of see the truck at the corner of my eye, so I chucked myself off the other side of the bike to try and get away from it, but it was very last second. So I probably saved maybe the top portion of my body.
This is what the intersection on Dynon Road in West Melbourne looked like. Both cyclists and vehicles turning right had a green light.
I wasn't aware of the light sequence. I just was aware that my light was green. I assumed that the other lights were red because it's a bicycle lane. I wouldn't imagine there was going to be other green lights interfering with a cyclist lane, essentially. That's all the light, like. You're like,
The horrific crash left the 29-year-old with a life-altering spinal cord injury, paralysing him from the waist down.
The first initial reaction was, I can't feel my legs. And then, I can just remember lying there and then wee bits of blurriness, and then I passed out again.
The truck driver did not stop to help Brett and has never been found by police. A bystander gave Brett first aid and called an ambulance.
She saved my life. She attended to me and looked after me. So, yeah, so she was very brave.
Brett, him being paraplegic, it was entirely predictable, and we predicted it. This will happen, and it did. Think about all the money involved with cars, you know.
Cyclist advocacy group Bike West sounded the alarm about the Dynon Road and CityLink intersection 15 months before the hit-and-run accident. The intersection is jointly managed by the Department of Transport and the Westgate Tunnel project. In August 2023, Premier Jacinta Allen, who was then the Transport and Infrastructure Minister, wrote to Bike West saying,
"The arrangement and sequencing of the signals for pedestrians and drivers is being reviewed with the Department of Transport and Planning to reduce potential conflicts."
There was no action, so in November 2023, the group sent this video of a near miss at the opposite side of the intersection to where Brett's accident occurred to the then Roads Minister Melissa Horne. The group warned,
"In the past month, there have been a number of near misses and at least one accident that we are aware of at the intersection of Dynon Road and the CityLink southbound on-ramp."
Their email was referred to the active Transport Minister, Gabrielle Williams, who did not respond. Emails released under FOI laws and obtained by 7:30 show warnings about the intersection were shared with the Westgate Tunnel project and the Department of Transport. 6 months before Brett's crash, a Road Safety Victoria bureaucrat warned,
"The CityLink on-ramp, both left and rights, have significant issues. We have cyclists arriving mid-cycle at high speeds with a green phase, with vehicles trying to pick gaps in oncoming traffic. Even my wife, who knows nothing about road safety, is horrified at this setup and witnessed a near miss there Wednesday."
In January, the Westgate Tunnel project made changes to improve the safety of the intersection's left-hand turn. No changes were made to the right-hand turn, where Brett's accident would occur just months later.
After the accident, you're just thinking that is ridiculous. You're like, how can a light be green for a cyclist and green for a turn-off that leads to a highway, which is going to have all sizes of vehicles?
After Brett's accident in May this year, authorities finally acted. A week later, work began to establish a safer bike route. This bypass was designed by Bicycle Network Victoria and submitted to the Westgate Tunnel project years earlier in 2019.
Our warnings and calls for change were completely ignored for years until Brett got hit and there was some sort of political embarrassment. And then within a week, it had changed. And it is horrible to think that the only time you ever get any change is when someone is either killed or seriously injured.
It's not the first time authorities had been warned of safety concerns about intersections affected by the Westgate Tunnel project. In February 2023, 22-year-old university student Angus Collins was killed when he was run over by a cement truck turning left at this Footscray Road intersection. In August, a coroner found Angus's death was a preventable tragedy and that safety concerns from as early as 2018 about the intersection, raised with the Victorian Government and its subcontractors for the Westgate Tunnel project, CPB contractors, and John Holland, had not been acted on. The coroner made adverse findings against the subcontractors.
What was it like to hear that evidence?
Oh, I mean, very hard, of course, as a parent, and particularly when you lose, someone like Angus who added so much to our lives and to so many other, to the community. It's such a huge loss, devastating for us. Yeah. Filming.
Ian Collins will never forget the day police came to tell him his son Angus had been killed.
And I saw a police car pull up, and if you talk to any parents of cyclists, the kids that do a lot of kilometres for their racing stuff, it's our worst fear, I guess, that they won't come home one day.
At the cycling club Angus joined as a 12-year-old, his absence is acutely felt.
I never ride on the road that Angus was hit on because I just can't think about that.
I would describe those as completely preventable tragedies, unfortunately, and that has devastated people's lives. In both of these cases, they were a state-owned road. Dynon Road and Footscray Road are both state-owned roads. So in their case, it was the Department of Transport and Planning. So they should be held accountable, but no one ever is.
The Victorian Government and the Westgate Tunnel project declined 730's request for interviews. They did not respond to questions about why safety concerns were not acted on in both cases. The Westgate Tunnel project says it continues to review and improve safety across its road networks. Transport Minister Danny Pearson said his thoughts were with the Collins family. There was no comment made about Brett Wallace.
Thanks very much. What's crack it, eh? Before the accident, I was fit and physically fit, etc. And it shows just how one incident can completely, no matter how strong and fit you are and stuff, it can just change your life. But in terms of the roads and stuff would be the biggest message. It would be just making them as safe as possible.
It's a sentiment shared by Ian Collins.
There's not a lot else I can do, having lost Gus, but I can't get him back. But you can sort of at least represent his spirit in trying to be an advocate for a change and improvement to save other people's lives.